while millions are glued to their TVs, their emotions soaring and crashing with the fate of athletes. They I never meet. There exists another group, completely indifferent. Neuroscience suggests their brains might actually be wired differently. What follows could shift how you view the sports-obsessed people in your life. Here's the unspoken truth. Not caring about sports doesn't make you boring, passionless, or flawed. But something fascinating is happening in your brain, and it sets you apart from the 60% of Americans who follow sports religiously. Why do so many care so much? We are tribal creatures. For millennia belonging to a group meant survival. Sports today function as modern tribes, complete with jerseys and flags. When fans watch their team, their brains release oxytocin, the bonding hormone also associated with family attachment. Their brain, in a sense, convinces them these athletes are a part of their clan. People who don't obsess over sports often exhibit what psychologists call lower tribal instincts. Their identity isn't as tied to group membership. They tend to be more individualistic. Research from 2019 supports this, showing that those with low sports interests demonstrate far less us versus them thinking. They don't instinctively oppose the other team just because they read the other side. The addictive brain chemistry of fandom. For sports fans, game time delivers a potent neurochemical cocktail. Each play brings a surge of anticipation, the same dopamine hit you feel before unwrapping a gift. fMRI studies revealed that watching your team activates the same reward centers as gambling. The uncertainty of the outcome makes it especially powerful, creating an intermittent reinforcement loop. The most addictive reward schedule in psychology. It's the same mechanism that keeps people glued to slot machines. For those indifferent to sports, this vicarious competition simply doesn't trigger the dopamine system in the same way. Genetics may play a role. Research from the University of Chicago suggests that variations in dopamine receptor genes can predict how invested someone becomes in spectator competitions. Your indifference to who wins or loses might literally be in your DNA. Bearging and the stability of self-sports fans often engage in basking in reflected glory. When their team wins, they say we won. When they lose, it becomes they lost. This pronoun shift is a form of psychological distancing. People who don't follow sports are less likely to tie their self-worth to external victories. Their self-esteem tends to be more stable, less dependent on events outside their control. Empathy just directed differently. Interestingly, sports fans often score higher on certain empathy measures related to their teams. They practice caring about the struggles of strangers in their team's colors. Non-fans aren't lacking empathy. They simply allocate it elsewhere. Towards social causes, personal relationships, creative pursuits, or intellectual challenges. 2021 study found that people with low sports interests scored higher in openness to experience and appreciation for art and beauty. They seek meaning, connection, and transcendence just through different channels. For some, indifference to sports is also a defense mechanism, a response to past exclusion, discomfort with aggressive competitiveness, or simply a rejection of investing emotion in something perceived as arbitrary. Both perspectives are valid. Two ways of finding meaning at its core. This divide reflects how we derive meaning. Sports fans find it in narrative, the underdog story, the comeback, the dynasty. It's unpredictable, human drama with real stakes. Non-fans often see that same randomness as meaningless. Why invest emotionally in an outcome you can't control, played by strangers, with no direct impact on your life? Researchers describe this as parasocial investment versus direct engagement. Sports fans build one-sided relationships with teams. Non-fans often prefer to invest energy where there's reciprocity, where their involvement affects the outcome, and where they are participants, not spectators. Playing a different game, people who don't follow sports often report feeling more present in their own lives. They're not spending hours experiencing someone else's struggle. They're engaged in their own. There's something quietly radical in that. So what does this mean? If you don't care about sports, you aren't missing a fundamental human experience. You're just different. Your brain's reward system, tribal instincts, and empathy allocation are calibrated differently, and that's okay. The next time someone asks, "Did you see the game?" and you couldn't care less, remember, you're not broken. You're not boring. You're not boring. You're simply playing a different game, one that might just maybe have higher stakes.